We'll call the Scottsboro City Council meeting Monday, July 8th to order. The invocation given by Mr. Kennemer and the pledge of allegiance given by Greg Mashburn.
Almighty God, we give you thanks and praise for this republic, this state, this county, and this city. We ask you to be with the elected officials, the people at every level of government. Lead, guide, and direct in all that they do. These things we ask in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Phillips, will you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Richard Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Greg Mashburn.
Here.
Mr. Gary Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Mike Ashburn.
Here.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Here. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Approval of previous minutes from June 24th, 2019. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. There is no old business, so we'll go to new business. First item is a public hearing for alcohol license for C. Shahari, doing business as DMP Mini Mart. So that being said, this is time and place for a public hearing. Is there anyone here against this? Is there anyone here for this? Ms. Phillips, will you do the investigative report, please?
The applicant is Rasik Chaudhry. Type of license is retail beer and wine off premise. Establishment is DMP Mini Mart located at 37 Ridgedale Road. There were 5 businesses and residences surveyed and no objections. The nearest church and school footage requirements are met. License application is in order. Health, fire, and building inspections comply, and zoning verification complies.
Thank you. With that being said, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the alcohol license for DMP Mini Mart?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Everything There's no other discussions. We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Pass. Go to item number 2, a public hearing for alcohol license, Monta Patel, doing business as Marathon Food Mart. That being said, this time and place for a public hearing. Is there anyone here against this? Is there anyone here for this? No, that there wasn't anyone here for this. So will you do the investigative report?
The applicant is Monta Patel. Type of license, retail beer and wine off premise. Establishment is Marathon Food Mart located at 18562 John T. Reed Parkway. The nearest church and school footage requirements were met. License application is in order. Health, fire, and building inspections comply, and zoning verification complies.
Thank you. With that being said, we'll close the public hearing. Since there's not a member here from that establishment, do I have a motion to table this until we get the owner here?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 3, consider a request for Alabama TASS Nation High School Championship. We discussed this at our work session. Mayor, do you want to say anything before we go through that?
Just want to say this is to host the tournament in May of 2020, and they're requesting $5,000 assistance from the city, and we make a recommendation to take those funds next spring out of the tourism grant money.
Okay. So that will have a motion to approve $5,000 to come out of the 2020 tourism grant money.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 4, consider a budget amendment for the brush fire expenses. Mayor, was that part of what you gave me?
Yes, sir. Instead of the 1,800, the top invoice, it's in the back 1,870.
1870, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion to approve the budget amendment?
Plus the 4,200. It comes to $6,070 total for the two invoices. Plus whatever comes up later from the fire department.
Right. But tonight we're
Yes, sir.
going to do the 6,070.
Yes, that's correct.
I'll make that motion.
You make the motion for $6,070?
Right.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, I'll go ahead.
Well, is that, I know the mayor mentioned that, how to flyer it up, is this equipment already?
We're handling that with just city equipment and the hose and everything that's there.
Okay.
This equipment's already been sent back.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Yes. You seconded it. Oh, Gary seconded it. No other discussion. We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. We go to item number 5, consider a budget amendment for the street department truck repair. And that was $4,500, correct? So do I have a motion for a budget amendment for $4,500 for street department truck repair?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 6, consider resolution surplus solid waste department. There's a 1978 Mack water truck, a 1997 Ford dump truck, 2008 Kamasuba skid steer, 1980 John Deere 4240, 1996 John Deere 7200, 1997 PCL 200 track hoe. With that being said, do I have a motion to approve that for surplus solid waste?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. When it is sold, it will go into the solid waste department capital outlay. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 7, surplus the courtroom benches. There's 12 municipal courtroom benches, and they're wanting to, mayor and city clerk, to authorize dispose of the property owned by the city of Scottsboro described in section 1 above by donating to a non-profit. So with that being said, do I have a motion to surplus courtroom benches?
I'll make that motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 8, consider resolution city-owned motor vehicle policy. We discussed this at the work session, and I think we changed the verbiage 35 miles from City Hall. Do I have a motion to approve the city-owned motor vehicle policy?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thank y'all for working on that.
Thank you.
Go to item number 9, consider the Heritage Center contract. Mayor, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, we've met couple of different times, or maybe 3 different times, in discussing her KPS contract. We had a follow-up meeting last week, I guess. It was representatives from the Heritage Center and myself. And Jim Roberts. I'm drawing a blank here tonight. But anyway, we had some questions. Christine addressed those, made the recommended changes. So we're recommending this contract be approved by the council. I guess the biggest thing is it is a lump sum contract with engineering fees and all. Attachment B in your packet on the contract shows that the total gross fee for the contract is $66,115.80 instead of it being tied into the actual construction cost.
So with that being said, do I have a motion to approve the Heritage Center contract?
I make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
So we have a total cost now,
We have a total
estimated cost.
of the contract. But the project, we've got to, if you look in here, it talks about the different phases of work and how they will be reimbursed. But the schematic design, there's been some credit given there. The design development is 15%, and the construction documents, until we can get the construction documents completed and then put it out for work. But this is the monies that would be spent up until that point. It's roughly 47, right at $48,000. Put it out for bid.
Any other discussion?
I was saying, Miss Ivy back there, how's the fundraising? I know we all done a bunch of work and trying to get money. How's the fundraising going? And do you have a number to give us an idea on?
I'm going to say that we have raised in the neighborhood of $35,000 since the letters went out. I know that we're still getting donations in. The fundraising committee has a meeting tomorrow afternoon to finalize some plans for some additional things that we're going to do. We hope that it's going to continue.
Sure.
We have some people we're going to be visiting and challenging and that kind of thing, and we look forward to seeing those numbers grow. You mentioned figures, and the mayor addressed that we really will not have an idea until we get to that bid phase.
Sure.
And we get those proposals back. We will be stressing to the architect that we will be working with again, that we're working on that budget. That's a fixed fee, so we know up front that $66,000+ will be paid. Now we just have to work down to get that building within what we feel like we can raise in addition to what the city has so generously approved.
Any other discussion? We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Go to item number 10, consider approval for paving. We have a list. So basically we're looking at approving everything in the green up to the green number. Correct? From the committee. Mayor, you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say that, as you know, based on the fuel tax that's going into effect, the city will be required in the upcoming fiscal year to submit, will be required to submit to the council. Council will be required to approve a paving budget, and then the monies that come in off of that will be required. You know, there'll be some paperwork, and we'll have to show how we spend those fuel tax dollars and file reports. But so this is broken down, and this is certainly just a working document for next year and the years after. But this year, yeah, we've got Parks Avenue Bridge, the estimate on that is $123,507, but that, I believe we've all agreed that that would come out of bond money when we do the bridge replacement, but that would be for paving Parks Avenue entirely from Broad Street to the four-way stop. The Garden Drive Junior High project is completed. They've even gotten that striped. That was $60,000. It may be a tad over 60 because they got into a bad spot that they had to address in the curve back there where it ties in. But it was $60,000. The three biggest ones on the list here are Gant Road, Snodgrass Road, and County Road 33. And all three of these total it's about close to $350,000 for the phase one, and this would be, we're recommending a two-phase approach to these roads just because of the cost of it, but it would be a scrub seal treatment where they go in and they address the bad spots, and then everything has a scrub seal application with tar and gravel to seal it. And then the final asphalt wearing layer would be applied next spring or summer. So it's a two approach, because the second half is another close to $500,000. So you're looking at, $850 to $1 million for Gant Road, Snodgrass, and County Road 33. West Camille Street is something we're committed to paving. And Water, Sewer, Gas is going to be working with us on that project. The Goose Pond Colony parking lot's done being completed. That was $127,000. We have industrial. We got a TVA Invest Prep to do some work on the city-owned part of the industrial park at Hollywood. We've reserved $50,000 on that. We think that's a very high number for the amount of road work we've got to do up there, but that's what we have requested to reserve. And then down at the bottom, you'll see we had gotten an industrial access grant for the industrial park off of Highway 72, and ALDOT required us to go in and do some core drilling there, so we had to spend $2,700 there. But all of that totals $716,000 for this year. Whether it's coming out of bond money or other funds.
One last thing, what's not on here though is across from Walmart. I know we need to add that on this because that's going to come out of.
Well, that comes out of that capital, and that Rick's not here, but next week at the work session we've got to approve some of this would actually come out of the tourism grant money, some of the funds. But this is the list and the dollar amount. Next week we would need to, when Rick's here, go over what comes out of sales tax, what sales tax money will be added to the city allotted paving money, and what would come out of the tourism grant money to go towards the Goose Pond paving as well.
What about the culverts and drains?
The culverts and drains, we have not, Legion Drive, we have not addressed yet, or Willow Branch, the second part of that riprap, and then the Bynum Park, the ditch, the riprap, and the parking lot edge there, we haven't addressed those yet. Those are later in the summer. That's $60,000 that's been budgeted for that. The Cecil Street curb, we did fix it, and that's around $3,000. We still got to address the box culvert down there where we've got to pour a curb there where we did that last summer. And then the miscellaneous sidewalk repairs, I know people are complaining, and we've got some money set aside for that. But between sidewalks, culverts, and drains, that's another $80,000. And we typically set aside about $10,000. And back up on the 716, we typically set aside $200,000. We did carry over a little bit from last year towards road paving. But the reason, while we're talking about, the reason we were conservative last year with our road paving money, people don't think we paved a lot, but we did Clemens Road, and that was a huge project. And just to let people know, you know, we were sort of watching our money. That project, the preliminary budget on that was $2.1 million. And we were fortunate that it came in under a real competitive bid, and Clemens Road ended up bidding for $1.3 million, right? $1,310,000. The city had to send out a check for $301,000. But the reason we didn't pave a bunch of extra streets last summer is because with Clemens Road there was a lot of unknown conditions, and those unknown conditions would have gotten into our street paving money, so we had to play it conservative. So, you know, we were fortunate. We're proud to say that Clemens Road ended up coming in $30,000 under budget. So we were very pleased with that. But we had to play it conservative. So that's all.
Any other discussion?
More you probably asked for. It's complicated when you start talking about paving streets.
So we're looking at paving everything in the green.
Paving or have paved, yes.
And the culverts, drains, and miscellaneous sidewalks.
Yes. Comes about $797,000.
So do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
So,
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
thank you.
I just want to say thank you for the committee and working hard and addressing some of these. I know there'll be some questions about which roads have been picked, and that'll, we can continue looking at roads in the future. So, go to reports, Mayor.
Yeah, just a reminder, Parks Avenue Bridge area will be closed next Monday. They'll start the demolition of the bridge. And we're looking at about 8 weeks. I think both papers, y'all have ran that, if you'll run it again, and we've notified everybody, but we'll do it again this week of the closure. I think it says, 100 feet each side of the bridge. Looking forward to that project getting started. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart.
I don't have anything. I appreciate everybody coming.
Mr. Ashburn.
The committee over the fire department met with Chief Nicholas and the mayor today, and to discuss the renovations of firehouse number 3. And we asked that we be put on the agenda for the next work session to discuss the improvements that need to be done to fire station number 3. I think $195,000 has been set aside toward that from the old bond, and we asked that it's going to come up about $150,000 short, and we asked that maybe that this money be taken out of the current bond that we have, and then maybe paid back out of sales tax in the months to come, or in our next fiscal year budget, or something along that line. That's something that we would like to discuss in the work session to move forward. We talked about piecemealing, but at the discussion with Chief Nicholas and the construction people, it's better if we do the whole thing at once instead of piecemealing it, because it just won't work out the way the air conditioning and all has to be done, with the way they're going to redo the roof and redo the interior of the ceiling line and all. So we just ask that people put on the next agenda.
Okay. Ms. Phillips, we could next week's work session. Thank you.
I have one. Can I do a go back?
No. Go ahead.
Stacy and I have been talking, and we'd like to have at the end of the council work session next week, a solid waste authority meeting to just talk about different things and do an update on the landfill progress and talk about some of the equipment stuff. Ken,
Okay.
that work?
Thank you. Put that on there. Mr. Bailey?
Well, we're at July already, so next thing is we're starting to talk about budgets and things. But I'd like to see us look at this paving a lot sooner next year, maybe right after budget meetings. Go ahead and start looking at next year's paper then. Not,
Yeah.
and like I say, after the budget meetings, of course, get all that settled. Maybe push this up so that we're actually paving during these good months. I just appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you.
Mashman?
All I got, I just want to announce the 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old Dixie girls softball this weekend, the 12th through the 16th. There'll be 18 teams, I think, in it, and the opening ceremonies is going to be Friday at 5:30 at Veterans. So we invite everybody to come out for that. Hopefully it'll be cooler than the bass tournament was.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. Thank everyone for coming out.
Thank you. Just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. We're adjourned. Thank you.